All right, my YouTube family. Uh, these are not the same tardigrades I had for 5 weeks. I had to go out and dig up some more because they were getting kind of sluggish. So what I did was put my old tardigrades back in I put them in my bird bath in the back so they can maybe regroup and live in there. And I got a couple of more tardigrades, and I'm gonna go ahead and stream to Reddit also. So let's see, where's my R pan? And that you could see what they have on here is some Spirogyra algae, that big green stuff. That's what that is. I'm gonna start my Reddit stream here. Let me go ahead and so there you go. My stream on Reddit started also. For my Reddit friends, I have my YouTube stream going also. If you want to go to that YouTube channel and help me out. That big green thing right there is Spirogyra, and it's real pretty algae, and it actually can produce oxygen. You know, a little bit, not like cyanobacteria. So it's like an algae with chlorophyll. And usually these water bears they can get on there and actually suck the juice out of that Spirogyra. Let's see if he does this. And I had 4 eggs. I time lapsed yesterday. Of course, I can't find them anymore because they're still on this slide somewhere. But I looked today, they just got behind something or down in the muck. So when I find them again, I'm probably going to put my camera on them all night, for several nights in a row. Maybe I can catch them hatching. And you'll hear my granddaughter in the background. She's here. And today's kind of we let her watch not a lot of TV, but in the morning it's kind of rainy and cold outside, so she's going to be watching Disney and things like that. Now she'll come in here and stick her head in here and want to see something once in a while. So that's that little green thing up there is an algae. Oh boy, I forgot the name of them. Coma, Calanomadonas or something like that. It's a motile algae. So this is pretty good, and you see I got several of them on here. Well, more than several. I got about probably 20 of them on here. That took me a couple of days to separate them and get them into some clean water because they like to live in the mud, in the dirt on moss. So what I did to make my Reddit stream a little better, I actually hooked up an Ethernet wire, and I think I'm getting a better connection with Ethernet to my Wi-Fi. Of course, you would, but usually you don't need to. But with upload speed needs to be pretty good to get a good flow of these creatures here. so they're not jerking around and stopping the video and starting the video. But you can see that this guy is kind of close to the color of this Spirogyra, and that is because he's probably been sucking the green stuff out of it. Looks like he's got little hairs on him. I don't know what that is. That might be tiny. I don't know what that is. That might be some Spirogyra also, maybe immature. I'm not sure how that works. But he's got something. If you look really good, you can see those little threads. And this one's actually walking on his back with his feet on the top part of the slide. This is a slide with a piece of glass on the top and a piece of glass on the bottom and about a millimeter in between so it doesn't squish him. So this one's actually walking on his back. Oh, did he just flip over? No, he's still on his back. They eat that algae in there. Like they'll suck the juice out of this stuff right here. And, moss. In the wild, they'll eat moss, suck the juice out of moss. And that's 150x right there. So you can see how small they are. That's 150. And this is about 300, I guess. Pinch zoom. All my YouTube people must be sleeping. That Spirogyra really looks cool. Look, there's one little piece. And you can see why they call it Spirogyra, right? I might have to put some moss in here. They don't. This one, at least this one, doesn't seem like he likes that Spirogyra much. That's another little algae right there. That little one. It's got a long, complicated name. If you really want to, I'll spell it out later. Let me just scan around, see if I can find those eggs. I doubt it. There's some Paramecium on here also. Paramecium Busceri, which are pretty cool looking. And they kind of slow movers. So if I can find one, it'd be pretty cool. There's two water bears getting ready to battle it out. Ah, throw down. These are pretty healthy. Yeah, tardigrade. Somebody on Reddit's asked me, where do you get a tardigrade? You can find them. They're easy. Well, if you go out in the sidewalk or your bottom of your fence or some bricks that have moss on it, that green fuzzy stuff, not algae growing on, but that green, it almost looks like little grass growing on your damp sidewalk in the cracks and stuff. If you pull that up and you go put that in some spring water and mix it up and wait a couple of days and you have patience and you put it on a microscope, you'll see these. The trick is they're going to be in there, but your water is going to be so muddy that it takes a lot of time to get one off, two off, three off, and then dilute the water more and more and more to see them. But they're easy to find, but hard to separate. I'm going to buy a microscope. This one. This is a medium, between $600 and $900, but if you're a beginner and if you want a good experience, try to spend about $200 from Amscope, AMSCOPE, and don't spend it on a camera that comes with it or any accessories. Just spend the $200 on the scope itself, and 40 times to 1,000 times. Sometimes you'll see 2,500. I guess that's okay, but that's a little strong. But 40x, and get one with a 3D stage. Sometimes they call it XY stages, where you can knobs like I'm doing right here, up and down, so you don't have to always have your hands on your slide. I don't know what that is. What is that right there? That might be a bubble. No, that's some kind of, I don't know what that is, but it's not a bubble. That's real. It looks like some kind of cyst or egg itself. I'm not sure what it is. All right, sorry about that. Some reason my Reddit stream went down. That stinks. So if you just joined me back on Reddit, I don't know, Reddit popped up with a message said we're sorry, we're working through some problems, and it kicked me off. So that stinks. That might be one of those Paramecium Busceri here. Let me see. Yeah, this is cool right here. This is a Paramecium Buscerium, I think they call it. And you could see, look around it, you could see the edges, his cilia moving around. So that's pretty good. See if I can get it in black and white here. You can really see, well, you can see the movement inside of him and everything. Let me go back to normal. So what they do is just flap those cilia around. They have an oral groove there that lets food come in. And if I can play with my light right, I might be able to get this looking a little 3D-ish for you. Hang on. Oh, that's not bad. So there you go. You can actually see how if you fool with the diaphragm and stuff, you can get it to look a little, sort of like a little 3D-ish, where you can see the shadow because the light's being bent around it. I'm just going through some filters here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So anyway, that's what this is. Oh, look, here comes another one. Hey, wow, that's cool. So you get kind of a 3D look here of these Paramecium. That is very cool. I think that is awesome. You can even see the 3D of the slide underneath it. You can see it looks like pot marks and rises and valleys when you do the light like this. Paramecium Busceria. Let me see, let me go back to regular. So this is normal, a little bright. There you go. Now you can almost see where I ain't gonna say almost, you could see the vacuoles in it, how they open and close in this 3D version right here. You see that vacuole? It looks like an indention, like a swimming pool almost. And it'll open and close. And what that's doing is regulating its flow of water in and out the cell. Yeah.
Me and Michael go get breakfast.
All right. Don't stay going.
I'm not. He's not here yet. He's leaving in a minute.
All right. So there you go. And here comes the other 3D algae right there. You could surely see that vacuole. Let me see if I can find one sitting still. Oh, look, here's my tardigrade. Here's a tardigrade eggs. Hang on. Let me go back to regular light. That's 2 tardigrade eggs right there. I might have to watch these over time and see if I can see them hatching. You look real good. You might be able to see them moving inside. So let me see, he's kind of front and center here. Let me put it back on normal and go look around here. I want to find one of those paramecium sitting still. So about... Come on, Paramecium, where are you? God, I thought I would have hundreds of them on here. There's one. Right, let's see if I can zoom into this guy. And then fix my light. There you go. So there's a 3D, I call it 3D, but this is how the light bends over the paramecium, and you could see how he's flowing that debris, that algae all over the place. And you could see how his insides are moving, like boiling almost. Yeah, this is H. Kellis. This is actually a Paramecium Busceri, Paramecium. So it's very, very small. This is about 500 times the size of it right here. And as you go zoom in more and more, you lose detail, but you can see the cilia moving around on the outside, and you can see the insides just moving. So if you look real good, you can see the cilia, see it right along the edges. You can see it flapping, and that's what it does all day long. Sometimes if you get black and white, it looks a little better. But let me zoom out a little bit. There you go. Yeah, this is pretty cool, especially when you learn how to work your light. You know, you can get a lot of different things going on. Like this gives you a little 3D-ish look. This is just regular light from the bottom. Let me put my color back on. This is just regular light from the bottom. How most people look at stuff through the microscope. But if you once you get some practice, you got this little slider under here, and you can bend the light into almost like a 3D representation of them. See that? No, this isn't a new microscope. This is just, there's a slider under here that costs about $8. And what it does is if you move it back and forth, you kind of obliquely bend the light. You know, it'll hit the slider and go around the top of the object instead of just coming up from the bottom. So that's what you see in here. It's called oblique illumination, and it's really not part of the, it is part of the microscope, but it's just a little piece that you buy to push in and out of there. So what I'm gonna do is let's go ahead and see if we can find a tardigrade in 3D. I have some amoebas on here. Not on this slide. I'll have to go to my other slide. But amoebas look really good in 3D if you haven't seen them before. That's Spirogyra right there. There's another Paramecium. And another one. Yeah, so finally I'm seeing some Paramecium on here. I'm trying to find my water bears. Come on, water bear. Where y'all at? There's one sleeping. A lot of people think he's dead, but if you keep this light on him long enough, he'll come back to life. I'm gonna put it on low power so I can, this is 40x, so I can better able to find these guys. Come on. I know they're on here. I had about 30 of them on here. No, it's not like a lens. It's just like a little piece of metal, black metal that slides, almost like a bar, like a flat bar that just kind of twists the light a little bit. Really doesn't do anything to the light except deflect it. And when it deflects it, it comes around from the side and you get that shadow look. So it makes it a little 3D. So that's what that slider does. So no, it's not a lens. Where are my water bears? Come on. This is crazy. I had about 20 water bears on here a few minutes ago. Then I go looking for the Paramecium. Now I can't find my water bears. Anybody see them? Oh, come on. I got it on really low power right now, so I can kind of scan and see. There you go. There's one. There's a couple. So let me go zoom in here. So this is 150x right here. This is about 400. Pinch zoom. Well, if you're talking about those real tiny, tiny guys, that's algae. I forget how to pronounce it. I'm gonna have to get my papers out. You see that right there? That's an algae right there. Tardigrade will actually get that and suck the juice out of it. I think it's called Coloradomonas or something like that. I have to spell it for you. My papers are around here somewhere. Yeah, since you're interested in it, let me tell you exactly what that is, or at least what I believe it is. I think those are spelled Chlamy, so I guess clammy, clammy, CHLAMY, DOMON, Domon, SAS, Chlamydomonas, Chlamydomonas, Chlamydomonas. That's an algae that moves, and the tardigrades they could eat those. You know, if they get them and they stick their poker into it and they suck the juice out. Oh yeah, the ones with the legs is the water bear. Yeah, these are definitely water bears. These are animals. The other one was an algae. This is actually an animal, like a cat. Well, it's an invertebrate, but it's an animal. That's why I can put it on animals on Reddit. And it's really tiny stuff in there, way down there. I really can't tell. If it would move a little bit, I'd be able to tell if that's bacteria. It may be bacteria. But I don't see it moving. Usually bacteria is moving. At least the bacteria that gets on this. Yeah, these are pretty cool to watch. And if you go to my YouTube channel, I think YouTube, you get a clearer picture of it, a clearer picture, and you'll help me out getting some viewing hours. So that would be great. So there he goes. And I did have some eggs on here earlier. I'm gonna try to isolate some of these eggs and time lapse them and try to catch them hatching. The trouble is, they could hatch tonight or they can hatch, in at the beginning of February. So it's hard to catch them hatching. Hey, hey, Pooks. Yeah, yeah, we okay here. Yesterday, my granddaughter's here right now. She's watching TV. It's Sunday morning. We let her kind of relax and do her own thing. You know, she goes to school all week. So she's here. You might hear her in a little bit. Let's see. It's like one, zero. It's probably a little bigger than that. H. Kells. Um, I think this. Now the other one, those little bacteria are that small. That's for sure. Thanks for subscribing. But these things right here are probably about a half a millimeter, which that is probably about what you put 0.000001 inch. But those bacteria, those little tiny things down here, they are minuscule. So this is 150x. So you can see how small this is. Oh, my light. I'm having trouble with my LED light on my microscope, so hopefully it holds out. You saw it just flash maybe. It's actually under warranty, and I got to get that fixed. Yeah, well, you hope they eat. Now you could see them eating once in a while, but they'll eat that little algae that's swimming around. Really, what they do is suck the juice out of it, and they eat that other big Spirogyra algae that's on here. Where is it at? See that stuff right there? They'll stick their little pincher into that, and they'll suck the juice out. So you really don't. Yeah, you do feel. I mean, you would add algae when you see the algae just kind of browning out and getting. Hey, thanks, Kels. Thanks a lot for that. that $10 is gonna go to, you could see on here, donate to differential interference contrast microscope. And what happens is with that kind of microscope, if you notice this, see this 3D look right here? This is fake DIC, okay? This is just kind of bending the light with a little slider. Okay, so that's fake DIC. I have a little video on here with real DIC. So watch, I'm gonna show you something here. Since you donated 10 bucks, let me show you what that's gonna go toward buying from me. Okay, this is a paramecium right here, all right? And this is what I call fake DIC. Gives you that little 3D look. See that right there? Now that looks awesome, right? That looks awesome. So let me show you real DIC. I got a little video I can put on here. This is not my image. I got it from YouTube, and if you blow it up and look at the side, you can see the reference of where it goes. So let me show you this DIC sample. So H. Kellis just donated $10, and I put all that money toward a DIC scope. So this right here is my fake DIC with bending the light, and here comes the real DIC. So look at that. So you get a hold of a $12,000 microscope, and that's what you get. Okay, so that's real, that's fake, that's real, that's fake. So this is DIC, differential interference contrast, and this is my representation of it by bending the light with a little slider. Yep, that is crazy, isn't it? Can you imagine the subscribers I get if I was showing that kind of stuff? I mean, you could see the organelles. Looking at, you could see the vacuoles opening up. You can see its oral groove. You can see the nucleuses. I mean, you could see it. Now here comes, this is algae also. Oh no, this isn't algae. This is just another kind of creature here. But notice how that looks right there. So look at the difference between a real DIC and what I purported. You know, it's close, but no way on earth is it like that. So that's pretty cool. So thanks for the donation. Yeah, after you see real DIC, you really don't want to look at you don't want to look at the fake stuff anymore. I'm gonna take my tardigrades off for a minute. I'm gonna put on an amoeba. Well, a whole bunch of amoeba. I got a slide here that still have a lot of amoebas on it. So let me see if I can get you one of those. And amoebas look really cool under fake DIC. Let me see. Ooh, that's a big one. Okay, well here, this is that an amoeba down there? Yeah, you want to get an amoeba. Oh, check it out. It has a water bear on it. I hope the amoeba don't eat them. Okay, so this is an amoeba right there. And he's not doing much moving, but let me go ahead and, I got to plug in my Mac. Hang on one second. I'll be right back. Hang on, I'm just plugging in my computer because I just got a message on it. about that, gang. All that racket. Gotta be more professional here. So there you go. Yeah, this scope's pretty good. And it's not very expensive either. So this is an amoeba. There's an amoeba right there. So this slide actually has a lot of amoebas on it. And if you look, if I put this in the 3D look, check that out. Now that's what an amoeba looks like in the wild. You know, they mostly clear like that. But if you look at that, that's awesome. You can actually see the hills and valleys in it. You could see, see if I can make this black and white. I'm just experimenting with some, so you could see how he's moving that pseudopod right there at the top. You could see how it flows. This is a pretty decent sized amoeba. Did you get a chance to see? Yeah, I did see that. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that was insane. Yeah, I have this scope, microscope right here can go up to 1,000 times, but what's happening is my slide that I have this stuff on is so big that, oh, look at that. Uh-oh, you better get away from that amoeba. Yep. I forgot what that's called. I think that's called a hydro. I don't know what that. I'm not gonna guess. But I can go up to 1,000. But since my slide's so big, I can't get that other lens over the top of it. So we got to do 150 plus some digital zoom here. So there's two other amoebas down here. So you can really see how they got it going, how they moving around and stuff. That's pretty good. Yep, there's my granddaughter. What, Papa? What you need? You want to see the amoeba?
No.
What? No. You bored with the amoeba? Are you going to hit my guitar?
Say what?
Look.
What do you want? Say one egg.
What?
Say one egg.
One egg. Oh, you want an egg?
No.
Oh, you just...
What do you want?
What do I want?
Okay, one egg. Come on.
Okay, yeah, I want one egg. Go make me an egg.
It's not a normal egg.
Oh, it's not. It must be something you making, huh?
Hey, you have to say it's not a normal egg.
It's not a normal egg. You gonna make Papa something?
No. This is not how it goes.
Okay, it's not a normal egg.
Say I want a chicken rat egg.
I want a chicken rat egg.
What's a chicken rat? Say it's a chicken cross a rat.
A chicken with crossed with a rat.
Okay.
Yeah, not emotional, but I like to keep them alive, you know. And when I see my tardigrades start to die or start to get sluggish, I will put them in a, I will release them into some moss. That's for sure. So this is an amoeba with some other creatures here, and that amoeba will eat those things if they stay still long enough. So, and this is how an amoeba pretty much looks under when you lighten them up from the bottom. See that? I actually had some tardigrades on here, which was surprising because I didn't think I put any on here, so they must have got cross-contaminated. Those little things are little grains of sand, rock, mud. See those? So you can see how little these amoebas are if that's a grain of mud. And you can see I got a bunch of amoebas on here. This is Spirogyra right here. Look at these guys. Doop, 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 doop. There's a rotifer. These things are like, these rotifers are like cockroaches of the, they just never die. These things will just take over your world. They'll take over your microscopic world. I'm just scanning through. I didn't think I had water bears on here, but I did see one. And I'm gonna go back to my water bears in a minute. So look at this. You can see how this amoeba right here is really spread out. See, so he's spread out looking for something here. How water reacts to different types of music. Water itself, I guess you're talking about the wavelengths and stuff like that. No, I never seen that. But I'll look into it for sure. So here's an amoeba. Let me get the 3D look on this one. This is called dark field. It's simply putting the light over the top. This is oblique illumination, where you bend the light a little bit and you can see the 3D aspect of these things. And you can see how it moves, so that's pretty awesome here. So all those things you see all those amoebas? I just got a handful of moss and some pond water, and all this was on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my I'm gonna take my amoebas off, and I'm gonna put my water bears back on, because people like to see those more than an amoeba. Sometimes amoebas can get boring. Now, when an amoeba's eating something, it's not boring.
After I say chicken rat but soup, you have to run away.
I do?
Yeah. Chicken rat but soup!
Oh no!
Run away. You have to run away. You have to run away.
I have to run away? How
Yes.
far?
You have to hide, Papa. Okay. After this, you have to turn into a chicken rat. Chicken rat for you.
My granddog got me running around the house playing. And what I wanted to show you guys, last night, somebody wanted to see a size difference. So let me show you this real quick. That is a Spirogyra right there, some algae. See this dark thing right here? This is a grain of salt right there.
Papa, you have to follow me.
Well, I'm
Chicken rat. You chicken rat.
so this is a grain of salt right here.
Don't observe that. Chicken rats don't do that.
Chicken Max. What's a chicken mac?
Chicken rats
Oh, chicken
don't
rat.
do.
Look, you want to see what salt looks like? Look,
No.
you bored with the microscope? Look, that, yeah, you got glasses. Look. Let me see. I told you. I told you. Came in barefoot. Came in barefoot and got a little tiny piece of glass in her foot. Now I gotta let her calm down so I can get it out with the tweezers. Let me find a water bear here and kind of keep it on the water bear, and I gotta get that little tiny piece of glass out of my granddaughter's foot. All right, there you go. So hang on right there, and if anybody wants to, since I'm gone, y'all can answer questions for me. I'll be right back. You got a cast. You don't need your foot in a cast.
I'll be back.
Let me get my headlamp. All right, be careful.
Okay. Oh God. Oh my God, it's cold.
Yep. Did y'all hear her screaming? I tell you, man. So I had to get a splinter out of my not a splinter, but a little piece of glass from the cover slide. Uh, and like she's not supposed to come in the garage barefoot because you got cover slides in here that, they break and it's hard to get them off the floor, and she came in barefoot. And then kids just don't like tweezers. They surely don't like tweezers. She was screaming. Now this right here, now this is just called dark field illumination, and it's when the light just kind of wraps around the top and gets it from the bottom. I mean, gets it from the top instead of the bottom. So that's what that is. But then if you really fool with it a little bit, you can get that 3D-ish look. And you can tell this one's walking on the glass. So this one's on his back or her back with his feet up in the air walking on the top glass. There's little slides that could show you more detail, less detail, stuff like that. And it's all just a play on the light. It's really nothing else except how the light's being bent around. So I've been on about an hour, and they must have somebody with some kitty cats or something, or somebody playing a guitar with their big toe, because I really hadn't had any viewers on Reddit. So what I'm gonna do is in a few minutes, I'm gonna end at about 5 minutes or so, and then I'll come back later. Almost seems like something wrong with. So that's Spirogyra right here. You can see it's just some long filamentous algae. See how one piece is just real long. This right here is this tardigrade skin. So look at that. This is a tardigrade that shed her skin. So that's pretty good to look at. So notice that's a tardigrade skin right there. More. See this stuff right here? This is some kind of goopy algae that they like to eat. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but the tardigrades like to get in there and eat that. This is Spirogyra. That looks like it got all the juice sucked out of it by tardigrades. So this one's actually like walking on the crust, the depleted Spirogyra. So you can see how there's nothing left in it. I'm not sure what that is in there. So this is what Spirogyra looks like normally. And this is what it looks like when it's dead. Oh, that's what's wrong. I had low power on. God darn it. Now I got a little higher power, optical, so that's cool. It's like a documentary on the bubonic plague. I find it so crazy that they had absolutely no idea what bacteria was, let alone all. That's right, Mr. Hammer. I watched those. I watched those bubonic plagues, and really, you can't blame them. They just didn't know that basically it was bacteria for one thing, but from the fleas, from the rats. I mean, and they didn't even bother with the rats. They just didn't know. So, and once the fleas bit you and you got it, you were contagious too. So You know, and what's strange, I don't know if you're kind of getting any parallels to today, but when these people got it, they tended to put them all in one place and lock them up and lock them down. Well, as soon as they did that, everybody in the place died. So, you know, one thing about these viruses and stuff, you spread out. I mean, the plague is different than viruses. That's a bacteria. Viruses, on the other hand, they're not living. They're just DNA or RNA. But what a virus does, people are forgetting this Omicron stuff. It's weaker and it doesn't kill you, and it's upper respiratory instead of getting in the lungs. Well, it's doing just what a virus wants to do. A virus don't want to kill you. A virus doesn't, it does, well, I shouldn't say want, it can't want anything, but a virus does itself no good by killing its host. A virus does no good by making its host bedridden. It's useless. It's useless for a virus to make its host bedridden where they can't infect other people. When a virus wants to do is make you just sick enough that you don't really care if you're sick. You don't know you're sick. You're walking around, you cough on your hand, you go shopping, somebody else picks it up. You never die from it. You get a cold. And eventually that's what this virus is going to be. It's going to be endemic. It's going to be here. And you're just going to have to live with it and move on. But that's what a virus likes to do. People think viruses, they want to kill you. Hell no. They don't want you dead. They don't even want you in your bed. They want you just sick enough to move around. Just sick enough where you can cough up some stuff, but you can still go to the movies and shopping. Virus puts you in the bed, that virus is done. Because once your body kills it, it's gone forever in that body. So it doesn't want to kill you. Yeah, and Mr. Hammond talking about bacteria, just to show you how conscious I am, when I went to get that piece of glass out, a little tiny piece of glass out of my granddaughter's foot, I have a pair of tweezers laying around, but I actually went over to the stove and heated it under the gas stove for about 30 seconds to kill the bacteria that was on it. Once you put something under heat like that, bacteria or virus or anything like that, it's gone. It's going to burn off. So even I just used my my know-how in real life. Let's see, that was the thing they focused on. Actually, they said it wasn't just rats. Let's see. Whoops. Why can't I see it? Okay, they said it wasn't just rats, but it was people being careless and literally not knowing it. That's right. Rats did help, but the virus spread, but people are the main reason. Yeah, yes and no. Once the rats brought it, you got to realize these people that were traveling around in the caravans and the traders and all, they didn't usually bring it in with them being sick. This isn't absolute, because they would die and they would just dump them off the side. What happened was, for this virus to get from, England to Africa, England to Sicily, those rats went on the boat. Those rats went on the boat and they kept it going. And when they got off, then you didn't need the rats anymore. Once a rat got off and bit 20 people, the fleas bit 20 people, that's it. The rats, they were history. They wasn't doing anything. It was people spreading it to each other. And when you think about it, these things right here, when you're talking about bacteria and tardigrades actually are an animal, and they have about 20,000 cells. It has organs, it has a digestive tract, it has a sort of a brain, it has eye spots, has what you would call muscles to move itself. So this is really an animal compared to bacteria. Now look, you might get in this little food supply right here. See what happens. So he's actually going underneath this stuff. See, that stuff's on top of him, so he's going underneath it. That's a Paramecium Busceri right there. That little tiny thing is an algae. I think it's called Chlamydomonas. Okay, I'm gonna go 5 more minutes and see if we can get some people to come on board here. If I don't, I'm gonna go ahead and go spend some time with my granddaughter. She don't really like the microscope much because it pretty much bores her. This is a Paramecium Busceri, I think it's called. Pretty good to look at. And this is him in oblique lighting. You can kind of see the 3D look of him. Yeah, tardigrades, well, somebody just put, can you explain exactly what tardigrades are? They're animals. I mean, let me see if I can get exactly what you're looking for. There's a term for them. There's a term for them. They're animals, okay? They're true animals with organs and cell structures and stuff like that. But they tend to call them near microscopic aquatic animals, okay? And why they call them near microscopic is because if you get enough of them in a drop of water, you could see them moving around, for sure. So if you get enough tardigrades in a drop of water, you could surely see them moving around. So they're microscopic when they're on their own, okay? Like this one, there's no way I could see this one on a slide. It's just no way. It's a 1/2 millimeter long and it's clear. So I'm not going to see it, but you put 10,000 of them on that slide and you'll see them. You'll see them moving around. It'll look like it's boiling. So basically they are animals. And tardigrade means slow stepper. So, and they can be from, boy, they can even be, I think they can be over 1 millimeter long, some species, but some can be like, 1/100th of a millimeter. So, and they do have eyes, eye spots, I guess you would say. But they probably see just black and white. They probably don't see color. Yeah, I would say that's a safe bet. I doubt their eyes have rods and cones and things like that. Okay, I've been on 64 minutes. Let's go 64. Let's go 3 more minutes to 67 minutes, and I'm going to wrap it up for the morning, and probably will come back a little later. But it's been a slow morning. I hadn't had a lot of viewers this morning, so. You can see how you can adjust the diaphragm here and make it where you could see kind of a little more detail. But look at his eyes here. Isn't that amazing? And you see that little arrow thing right there? That little, looks like an arrow. That's how it eats. It'll get up on the side of some algae or something, and that thing will stick out. It's like a little bony plate, and it sucks the juice out of things. So that's what that is right there. There's a paramecium coming to visit. And that paramecium is one cell. That's one cell, and this is 20,000 cells. So you could see one cell can be giant as compared to this guy. He's got 20,000 cells that are really small. But this one's a lot more complicated than that one cell guy. He's getting some, just checking out some different 8mm. That's pretty cool. So this is like 8mm film. I guess this is how people saw him in the 1700s. I said that before, people laugh. So there you go. Yeah, it is a lazy Sunday. What happens with Reddit? Somebody will get the top stream and stay on it for hours. And Reddit, their algorithms are really weird. They never rotate. So if you get on, when you get on Reddit and you see somebody playing the guitar with their, with their eyeballs, and while that dog is cooking dinner, that thing's going to stay on the front page as long as they want. Okay, they're just going to stay there. And most people, they won't scroll through. So let's say my stream is number 3. Well, you'd have to scroll down 3. And that just doesn't seem to happen. People just don't scroll. And the 17, the 32 that are on here now, obviously scrolled down to see this. So there you go. Let me see if anybody's chatting me on here. Hey, yeah, sorry about that. If I'm just seeing your chats on YouTube, usually on YouTube I have to turn off the chat for a while because it'll pop up on my Reddit feed and get in the way. So hey, Edler and AN, this is fascinating. Yeah, thanks for coming. And sorry I missed your chat there. I think you're gone already, so let me see if I can chat you back here. No, it won't let me chat back. I'll have to get back with her later. So sorry about that. So you could see it's digestive. When I adjust this right here, you could see it's got a digestive system, pretty much like a worm, a tube in a tube. So you could see the inside part right there with food particles and things like that. So you can see it goes right from the mouth down through the body, and they poop just like people. So right here, you can kind of see the outline of it, and when you adjust the diaphragm a little more, you can kind of see the tube in a tube structure. And I believe even humans are considered tube in tube. The outside part of your body is the outside tube, and then the inside goes from your esophagus down to your stomach, down to your small intestines, down to your large intestines, and one big long tube. Well, that's just what this is. That's just what that is. You can see it. All right, gang, I'm going to hit the road. Thanks for watching, and come back. I'm going to try to get on later today. Maybe I'll have better luck, so thanks a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and end my Reddit stream first, and then I'm going to end the YouTube stream. So thanks a lot, people, for watching. Bye-bye.